Well, Mary, this is where we do the packing. This is the packing shed.
Okay, how many customers do you get boxes ready for?
You know, this year's a really low year for us. We're doing a lot of, I don't know, cover crops and sort of some farm and fertility improvement. Typically, we're doing 70 boxes a week. I've done that for the last few years. This year, we're at half of that, only 35. So it's a piece of cake.
So why are you doing that? Why fewer?
Commercial vegetable production is actually pretty hard on ground, right? There's a fair amount of tillage. It takes a lot out of the ground. It isn't like, we do have a rotation of the family. We do have a rotation. We've typically used cover crops. But there's a couple areas of the field that have either kind of weed pressure issues. Think of a field that's like way too quacky or way too much thistle. Some amount of it's fine, but when it gets too bad, you got to just say, we're going to just deal with this entire field. And so take it out of production, get it in the cover crop, and you know, take care of it that way.
So how often do you harvest and deliver to your customers?
Every single week. So once we start that third week of June, we go 4 months straight. So it's every week for 16 weeks.
Do you also go to farmers markets or have people come here too?
Yeah. We have a self-serve farm stand. We've done that now, I think, 12 years. So we typically open that once we kind of have excess from the CSA. We have almost like this little mini cooler. We also do greens and stuff out there, beets, carrots, all of that. And it's self-serve, so people just come. They could come at 3 in the morning and buy a tomato if they wanted to, you know. And yeah, I did farmers market in Detroit Lakes for 14 years. I took a little break from it, and then I started a new farmers market in Pelican Rapids. So here we are on a Monday. We'll pack CSA boxes. Friday we'll do a farmers market. And actually later today, I'll also do a very mini market that's new this year at Manna Food Co-op in Detroit Lakes.
So how many drop sites do you have?
Yeah, this year we only have 2 drop sites. Again, it's a simplified year, so people either pick up at the farm or they pick up at Manna Food Co-op, downtown Detroit Lakes. In other years, we've typically had 5 drop sites. So we've gone to Fergus Falls, Pelican Rapids, Perham, Detroit Lakes, and on farm.
Do you have to refrigerate the vegetables as you're transporting them too?
No, there's no legal requirement, right? I mean, it might be good, but typically we're doing a lot of the cooling of produce and stuff here. So we're getting the produce kind of in a good state, right? We'll just throw the air conditioner on in the vehicle and get there, if you will. But you know, one of the keys to kind of like good produce really is how we're handling it after we get it out of the ground. So you know, we talk about post-harvest handling strategies. And so think of something like a broccoli or a cabbage. You know, a lot of people in their home garden are gonna be like, I don't know, I'm gonna go harvest a cabbage. You just cut the thing, you bring it in the house, you might wash it a little bit, that's it. Here on farm, what we're typically doing, say something with a cabbage or a broccoli, we'll hydrocool that for a good 40 minutes, 60 minutes. Even if something's kind of cool on the outside, you can still have a lot of field heat that's retained in this cabbage or broccoli or something like that. It's a washing exercise. We're getting it clean, but we're also, you know, just cooling the temperature down in the product. We get that core temperature down, we get it in the cooler. It actually holds better once the customer gets it at home if it's actually spent a night in the coolers.
Then how do you, just walk me through how you actually pack the boxes?
Yeah, right here we're standing in front of the tables that will lay out all the different vegetables on. There's a little roller over here. What we'll do is we'll take each of these boxes, right? One per customer. As we roll it down the roller, we'll put the individual crops in, right? So it's like a little assembly line. And then it'll go off into the vehicle to get delivered, or it'll just be left here to get picked up.
Then do your customers give you the empty boxes back?
Yep, yeah, that's part of it. And you know, that's one of the allure of a CSA, right? This is a wax box. It'll typically last us the whole season. We try to minimize the amount of plastic that we're using. And instead, it's just gonna come in this reusable wax box, so there's less waste. Yeah, we also do a lot of processing here in the packing shed, other than just washing, if you will. Like, you know, today we're processing basil. So my daughter Sylvia here, she's kind of cleaning up the basil a little bit after we brought it in from the high tunnel. Got a little stressed and budded out a little more than we wanted it to, so just to kind of improve the appearance. We also do, you know, pack salad mix and things like that in here as well. So there's a lot of kind of cutting and cleaning and sort of like just making the produce look pretty, right? I think that's kind of a big part of, you know, doing commercial produce well.
When you do the greens, do you put those into their own individual bags then?
Yeah, like salad mix will go into their own individual bags. Part of what happens here in a commercial vegetable farm is it's a lot of counting. So we got to make sure we have the right number of everything for the right number of boxes.